What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today I've got for you a bit of a Valentine's Day special. At the time of recording, obviously Valentine's Day was just a couple of days ago, and today I've got for you 3 stories. One from this year that's literally just happened, one from last year, and one from a good few years ago, all about Valentine's Day drama. So without further ado, sit back, relax, let's get into the first. I hate that my boyfriend is going out for drinks with his ex on Valentine's Day. This was originally posted on February the 15th, 2025. I have no problem with my boyfriend going out for drinks with his ex. They broke up many years ago. She lives away and is visiting for a week or so. They didn't have a bad breakup. It was bad timing, and they've stayed in contact since. She seems like a nice person. I also don't do Valentine's Day. I don't like getting presents or spending time with someone because they feel obligated to. I want that stuff to be natural and because it's wanted, not because it's forced. I don't expect today to be any different than any other day. But the two lining up does suck. It sucks that I'm here alone, watching everyone do posts about Valentine's Day and watching what everyone is doing, and he is out with his ex. It's not that I automatically think he's cheating or that it's romantic or that it's wrong. He messaged me saying it's weird and so nice to see her. It just sucks. And I hate that I feel like crying. I hate Valentine's Day. I've never had a good one. It always feels like trash. I don't want to celebrate it. I don't want to be a jealous girlfriend. I don't want to feel so lonely. I just don't want this. But ultimately, I'm not going to say anything. And I know that's my fault and my failings. So instead, I'm just going to be at home alone and cry. Okay, immediately after reading the original post here, I've got to say, it sounds like OP is upset by this and is bothered by this, despite the fact that they started by saying they have no problems with their boyfriend going out with his ex. They do. And that's completely fine, by the way. Most people would. And it's a bit of a shame that this week has coincided with Valentine's Day, which you also don't celebrate. But you can also say, look, I know I don't celebrate Valentine's Day, but I'd rather you didn't see your ex on Valentine's Day or within Valentine's week, even if you don't celebrate it. I think that's completely fine. Someone in the comments agreed with me, saying, why didn't you just tell him it bothered you? It's very weird that he's out with an ex on Valentine's Day, whether you celebrate it or not. They're going to be surrounded by people in love while you're at home. Why would he go out with an ex on Valentine's Day? That is so disrespectful. OP replied saying, he told me a few days ago she was coming to visit for something in town. He said he wanted to go get coffee with her to catch up sometime. He was working till 7 p.m. this evening and we didn't make any plans. He's been saying he wants to do dinner at some point but has yet to arrange that. He just sort of messaged me saying, finish work, going out to drink with ex, then coming home. He's still out with her. Didn't really give me a chance to say anything. Going out for coffee for some time and going out for drinks on Valentine's Day is very different things. I just feel like a freaking idiot. Someone else said, yeah, as much as the ex issue is with OP's partner, this actually sounds like OP set themselves up for failure here. Partner, hey babe, do you want to do something special for Valentine's Day? OP, no, I hate Valentine's Day, it sucks. Okay, okie dokie. OP, why does nobody treat me on Valentine's Day? OP, if you want something, then you have to say something. People are not mind readers, and especially in this case, where you specifically said the opposite of what you wanted. You need to end this self-fulfilling prophecy, or else you'll keep being disappointed. I think that's a little bit harsh, but slightly fair. OP replied, he didn't ask if I wanted to do anything for Valentine's. I don't like presents, for birthdays or Christmas or anything, but he also didn't ask. He said he wanted to take me out to dinner sometime, but has yet to arrange that. I know I need to arrange stuff too, but I've got stuff going on in my life, meaning I'm kind of housebound without someone with me, and I can't drive. There are no taxis where I live. He said he wanted to go out for coffee with her sometime to catch up, not drinks on Valentine's night. I don't know. I know there's been some miscommunication, but this feels overkill. But it also feels like my fault. Right, now let's get into the first updates, which came on the same day. OP said, so an update for people to kind of explain my headspace. I feel worthless. I didn't recognize how letting lots of little things go was things I actually cared about until last night. I felt hurt, but I felt I shouldn't be allowed to. He's not a bad guy, he's just stupid and oblivious to how he makes me feel sometimes. And that's not his fault. I can't communicate my feelings because I feel I have no right to them. I have a lot of issues and I'm really messed up. I'm still figuring that out. I want to be in therapy, but that's not available where I am. I'm disabled with no ability to work or go private. It came to a head last night because I realized I was hurt and angry, but immediately shut those feelings down. And I guess I finally realized I shouldn't do that. I've told him we need a break, that I don't know how to proceed, that yes, he often makes me feel worthless because he says nice things and says things he wants to do, but actually does the opposite. My boyfriend loves in words, not actions. I feel love in actions, not words. Also, yes, I am poly. I've been in happy poly relationships before because I struggle with monogamous relationships. I hate feeling trapped and dependent, but that was when I had other things in my life that made me feel worthwhile too, when I could work and have goals. And just because we're poly doesn't mean we don't have rules. Friends, family, and exes are still cheating. It isn't all or nothing. This wasn't about cheating though. It was about how worthless I feel and realizing I shouldn't have to. That just because I don't want big gestures doesn't mean I don't need small consistencies. I'm autistic and very traumatized by my past. Communication skills are not something I was taught. I was taught to be quiet and not make other people upset or angry at you because that's not nice. That I don't love how normal people love, so I should just accept what is given. But you can't really be in a relationship when you shut down all expectations and don't communicate what you actually need. I know he wants to work on things, but that involves me learning like basic human relationship skills. I know the logical answers to problems. I don't know how to feel them and express them. I feel I've been pushed so far back in the priority of his life, and I've let him because I don't feel I deserve anything more. And I don't know how to come back from it. Okay, one quick comment before we get into the final update here. Someone said, if your communication and relationship skills are terrible, then maybe, just maybe, you shouldn't be in a relationship. Since you're so traumatized and you're recognizing it, I don't know how you figured any relationship would work. Be so for real. Really? I'm not sure about that. That's like saying, because you've never loved someone before and you don't feel capable of loving somebody, you shouldn't be in a relationship. Like, surely you don't have to be the finished package to be in a relationship. You can still have like huge drawbacks about your character and still find somebody that works for you. I wouldn't agree with that comment at all. I don't think comments like that will help someone like OP, to be completely honest. Anyway, they replied saying, yeah, I know, I thought I was doing better. I didn't want a relationship, I told him that, but I pushed that aside to take a chance because he said he fell in love with me. And he's been patient with me, and I guess I just thought it's better to take what is given than expect more. But it's not. I don't communicate. I need actions, not words. He gives words, but no action. It's hard admitting you're not aromantic, but also not being capable of a proper relationship. Okay, and then let's get into the final update posted on February the 20th. That's 5 days after the original post. I already did a mini one of these immediately the morning after, but dang, has it been a rough couple of days. So yeah, this post was a problem. I've been annoyed at him and myself. He effed up, and so did I. It was never about whether I thought he was cheating. I know he didn't cheat, and I don't think he will. Yes, we're poly, but we still have the ability to cheat on each other by breaking rules we have in place, like no exes. This was more about realizing I felt very unloved and worthless. Not because of this one act, but because of months of his lack of actions and a year of degrading health that has taken away everything that gave me meaning and made me feel worthwhile. When I got the message that he wanted to take me to dinner, but hasn't planned it, a dinner he'd wanted to take me on for over a month but never found the time to, but then found the time to suddenly go out for drinks with someone else, it hurt, and I didn't understand why. It wasn't because it was Valentine's Day, it was because I'd seen everyone talk about how they felt loved, and I realised I didn't. Because at the same time, I was planning a mini trip for him the next month, and I realised he wouldn't do the same for me if he couldn't even arrange a dinner or an evening together that wasn't just on the sofa. That just because this activity didn't have an immediate deadline didn't mean it wasn't important. And I realised through this post, my immediate reaction to that was to push it down and not say anything, which makes me stupid and pathetic. So yes, I've told my boyfriend how I feel. It's not about big gestures, it's not about who he chooses to spend his time with, it's about the fact he couldn't find the time to spend with me. That if he wanted to be with me, he would have been before this point. Saying you want to be with someone, do things with someone, but then constantly fail to do them is a problem. Yeah, that's very sensible from OP, and that makes a lot more sense to me. I've also got a lot of work to do with my own self-worth and communication ability. I lack a lot of the basic skills of recognizing my emotions and being able to communicate them. There's many reasons for this. Not excuses, but what has created this situation. I need to get better at that for myself, but also for anyone I'm attempting to have a relationship with. Me and my boyfriend have taken a couple of days apart to think about where we want to go from here. Ultimately, talking about the state of relationship is only part of the solution. What's more important is the actions we take going forward. I need to be more vocal in recognizing my wants and feelings. He needs to show me that he loves me and wants to be with me, not just tell me. I know people are going to be angry I'm not just immediately breaking up with him, but this was never about cheating. Relationships breaking down aren't always about that. A lot of the time, it's more nuanced than that. And worrying that someone else is cheating is often more about the lack of self-worth than what's actually happening. I also don't believe you can't be friends with exes. I also strongly don't believe that men and women can't be friends. This is a very cis-het view on relationships and people. If you can't be friends with people you are potentially attracted to, then how the heck do you think bi and gay people exist? I'm bi, and in the circles I've known, this is never an issue. To be honest, I've never actually thought about it like that. That's a great way of thinking about it. I mean, I completely agree. Obviously, guys should be able to be friends with girls that they're attracted to, like good-looking girls, and vice versa, because otherwise it's just ridiculous. And yeah, what if you're bi? You can't be friends with anyone? Or at least anyone good looking? I mean, ridiculous. OP continues. If you can't see people you've had sex with, or the people you have the potential to want to have sex with, as only objects of sex, that's a problem with how you view fellow humans. I'm not in competition with everyone he's been with and can potentially be with, and he isn't to me. A relationship between two people is about those two people. For those who are saying I need therapy, I 100% agree, and I'm trying, but where I live and the lack of ability to work is making that very difficult. The NHS is only bothered if you're potentially going to do damage to yourself, or if you can be in the workforce, and I live on a remote island where there are no private options. So I'm learning these things myself with very little guidance. Realising the difficulty of this and the toll it's taking on me is a factor completely of its own too. I don't know if we'll stay together. It depends on the coming weeks and probably months as to whether we can get this stuff sorted and make progress to communicate better and give each other what we both are needing. I won't be updating on here anyway, regardless. Thank you for the people trying to actually help and listen, not just jumping to insult me or make me feel worse. Thanks to the people reaching out through messages too. This situation has taken a physical toll on me, and I've spent the last 2 days in bed with a migraine, not eating. So I just haven't had the energy to make conversation. I'll do better for myself and expect more from my partner. I'd rather be alone and happy than in a relationship and constantly disappointed. So, our relationship is on trial to see if it will work. Small consistencies will determine that, not big gestures. Ultimately, I think it can be summed up with, just because I don't require much doesn't mean I don't deserve the bare minimum, both for how I treat myself and how others who care for me treat me. Well said. Yeah, you know what? I think that is a very good last line. I haven't really agreed with loads of what OP has said during this. I think they've been extremely harsh on themselves. I'm not saying like, they're getting loads of things wrong or whatever. I just think they're being too self-detrimental. But I agree with the last bit there. I mean, even the last bit there, right? Like, of course you deserve the bare minimum. You shouldn't have to say that. And I think you deserve more than the bare minimum. But I do agree overall with the sentiment that, yeah, just because you come across as being pretty chilled, saying, oh, you know what, I don't care, you can see your ex, be friends with your ex, which, by the way, like, I don't know, I'm not sure a lot of people would be willing to accept that or be as open to that with their current partner as you are, which is sort of what you're saying. Just because you're saying that sort of thing doesn't mean that you don't have any requirements at all. Just because you're pretty chilled doesn't mean that you don't deserve the bare minimum, or at least what I take that as is a lot of respect, despite the fact that you are a relatively relaxed person in terms of that sort of thing. I think that's what you're getting at. I'm just trying to give you more kudos for who you are as a person. Anyway, that's it for story one. Let's get into the second one. My boyfriend got me a Valentine's gift that was a puzzle picture of me standing in front of my losing streaks in my favorite games. This was originally posted to r/girl gamers. I know people in this sub usually hate posts like this, but I feel this is the only community that can tell me if I'm overreacting. He got me a mystery puzzle for Valentine's to put together with him because he loves doing puzzles. I realise my face is in it, and I laugh, and I realise it has some match histories and laugh. Then I realise his entire gift for Valentine's is a puzzle he wants to tape and frame, making fun of me for being bad at the games he plays the most. And I felt kind of about it. Especially because these are games where I watch him flame people and flip his trash on them for being bad at. He got angry at me as soon as he realised I didn't like it and told me I need to learn to laugh at myself. I asked then what he thought was funny about it, and he said if he had to explain it, then it wouldn't be funny. My friends make memes about me effing up plays or saying dumb things like red and yellow make orange. This just feels different. Sorry, do red and yellow not make orange? Well, red and yellow do make orange, don't they? What? Anyway, that's maybe gone over my head. Let's carry on. I guess I would have preferred it as a birthday gift, but on Valentine's Day, my only gift and special thing being something making fun of me. Anyway, he actually constantly makes fun of me for being bad at these games, and I watch him type paragraphs making fun of people for these games as well. It just felt demoralizing. He said it's okay I'm bad at them because I'm hot, which didn't help, and he only got more annoyed that I didn't find that helpful. How would you guys take something like that? I mean, this guy is just clearly a bad person and an even worse boyfriend, to be honest. Let's have a quick look at some of the comments, although I don't need to spend too long on this, I can kind of guess what they're going to say. He gave you a mean prank instead of a gift. That sucks. I'd be upset too. And I don't think you're wrong to draw a connection between his making fun of you for how well you play games and his making fun of strangers. It sounds like he enjoys being mean in general. You deserve to be treated kindly and to have your feelings valued. Well said. Good-natured ribbing is fine if the person receiving it is fine with it. He knew before he got you this gift that it hurt your feelings to be made fun about your gaming skill. If his intentions were innocent, then the moment you stopped enjoying the puzzle because you saw what it was a picture of, he should have been falling over himself to apologize and make it better. Instead, he doubled down on it being a you problem. He's treating you like some kind of trophy girlfriend and not a person he cares about. I'm so sorry he did this to you at all, much less on Valentine's. Someone else said, so first he gets you a gift of a puzzle because he likes doing them. That's the first thing that seemed weird to me. It doesn't seem like he was thinking of you much there at all. Then it's a gift that makes you a punchline of a mean joke. I think that's a pretty rubbish gift any day of the week, but definitely not something you gift on a birthday, Valentine's Day, or any other big gift-giving day. That's a joke gift you give on a random Tuesday afternoon, at best. Yeah, I completely agree with that. I actually don't agree with what OP said, saying it would be alright if it was a birthday, but it's Valentine's Day. Nah, like if you're getting that for somebody as an actual gift and they're expecting an actual nice gift, it's not just like a one-off sort of banter meme present for the fun of it, if you two have that sort of relationship, that's a terrible gift. And further, he's already got a reputation for raging at games and bad players. Nope. It's like being rude to waitstaff or mean to pets. It indicates a lot about a person's character and ability to regulate their emotions. I mean, what happens when he's the butt of the joke? Does he take it with grace or does he get mean? Does he ever laugh at himself like he expects you to? He couldn't explain the joke to you because it wasn't funny. It was just meant to put you down for his amusement. Actually, a great point. It wasn't as if he was like, oh, this is why it's funny. He actually said, well, it's not funny if I have to explain it. Yeah, that's why it's not funny, because there is no explanation. And to top it off, he says, it's okay because you're hot. In what world is that an acceptable response that makes any sense? He reduced you to your sex appeal. It clearly shows what he values most in the relationship. He sounds insufferable and juvenile. I'll tell him that he's a bad boyfriend and he's not hot enough to make it okay. Ugh, that's a naughty clapback. OP replied to this saying, only he likes puzzles, but I think it's okay because for Valentine's it was my gift, but his activity to suit the love languages? He laughs at himself and takes jokes on his behalf really well, unless he feels the person is serious. I did press on him to explain the joke because I wanted him to admit the humour was, it's funny because you're bad and I'm making light of it. I felt like I was more upset than I'd normally be, but he definitely got angrier than I felt was normal. Then somebody said, yeah, that's like if you got him tickets to a concert you love, which you then use yourself because you attending the concert is the activity and he got the ticket. Don't worry, you'll bring him a program and stub afterwards. Yeah, it makes no sense. And also, I like the love language bit. I don't get it. His love language is making puzzles? I mean, maybe, but isn't it a Valentine's Day gift for you? Shouldn't it be about you? Or at least something you both enjoy doing together, not just him? Very self-centered. All right, a couple of days later, we got this update. I ended up deleting my original post, don't worry, I found it, because it was getting a lot of traction and it was overwhelming. Also, some women just engaging in the casual misogyny of accusing me of trying to be a cool girl and surrounding myself with toxic men for validation was crazy off that one post. Really? There were comments like that? My goodness, the internet is a crazy place. Anyway, the next day I got accepted into all of the PhD programs I applied to, one of which I was offered a fellowship. Basically, high honors showing I was an extremely competitive admit. My boyfriend was still so mad over the Valentine's gift, he wasn't speaking and only congratulated me over text, saying, "Great news." My friends were appalled and threw an impromptu party for me where I cried at the show of support. My parents are dead, it's just me in this world. Between what some very great women said to me as motivational advice on this sub and that, it helped give me the final push. They came together to help me make a plan to get a new apartment, move out, and help start this new chapter of my life. I'm going to buy myself a cute little battle station as a gift. I've been saving up for one for this exact thing. So, hopefully my next post is pics of that. Thanks for the community support. Up the girl game, as I say. And just for confirmation, she has said, in a comment down below, we're not going to be together anymore by the end of this week, me and my boyfriend that is. I think it was over way before today anyway, just waiting to have everything in order before I drop the other shoe, so to speak. Boom. Okay, there we go. Good thing you've broken up. Congratulations on your PhD acceptances. Not much more to add from me, apart from this guy's an absolute idiot and you're better off without him. And now for our final story of this Valentine's Day special. This one comes 4 years ago, February the 18th, 2022. My boyfriend broke up with me on Valentine's Day because I ate too much at dinner. I am a 27-year-old woman, and I've been dating my boyfriend, who is 26, since last summer, about 7 months now. It's been my happiest relationship ever so far, as he's smart, kind, funny, a good listener, bedroom stuff is excellent, etc. We don't live together yet, but we spend about 3 to 4 nights a week together. I was so looking forward to our first Valentine's Day together. I made us reservations for an early dinner at our favourite steakhouse, and the plan was to come back to my place after that to watch a movie and have dessert. I got us a little heart-shaped chocolate cake. And dessert. Nice. Anyway, I'm kind of a string bean. I'm 5'9", and it's a struggle to keep my weight at least at 125 pounds, the minimum for my height to not be underweight. There's nothing medically wrong with me, just have a really fast metabolism, and I have to be careful to eat enough. My boyfriend's also very slim, 6 foot and about 145 pounds, but doesn't have a huge appetite. So it's always been a bit of a joke that I need to eat more and more frequently than he does. But until our Valentine's Day date, I didn't really think it was an issue. He shows up looking amazing, gives me lovely flowers and a really sweet card. I give him a gift I know he really wanted, an Apple Watch, and we head out to the restaurant. He's a full-time grad student and I work, so I don't expect expensive gifts. Also, I'm paying for dinner due to income differences, which I do not mind at all. When we get there, I dive into the bread basket and I ordered a salad, a surf and turf, a small fillet and lobster tail, and a couple of sides to share, sauteed spinach and mashed potatoes. And he gets a small cup of soup and grilled salmon. Pretty standard steakhouse stuff. Not really, because none of you have got an actual steak. You clowns. But I suppose fair enough. Again, I'm paying, and it's definitely a treat meal, but not extremely unhealthy or anything. I definitely relish my meal and finish everything except some of the sides. He eats a bit more than half of his salmon. Most of the way through the meal, he starts looking annoyed and distant, but won't tell me what's wrong. We get the check. We don't get dessert as we have it at my place, and as we're pulling up to my apartment, he says he's tired and just wants to go home. Says no, he doesn't want to come in for cake or sleep at my place, he just wants to go home. In the moment, of course, I'm disappointed because it's Valentine's Day and our first one at that, but I tell him I'm so sorry and I hope he feels better. I try to give him a kiss goodnight, but he turns his head and tenses up. This morning, he texts me to say he wasn't actually sick, he was actually embarrassed by how much I ate, and he turned off. That I made a pig of myself, and it's really unattractive. Now, I do not shovel my food in, and I have impeccable table manners, so it's not that. It's definitely just the volume of food. I try calling him, but he won't pick up. He texts me back saying he isn't up to talking and he needs some time to think. A couple of hours ago, he texts again saying he's thought about it and wants to break up, that my eating has upset him for a while and he was trying to see if he could get over it, but he can't. I am so distraught and confused. Just yesterday before dinner, he was telling me how much he loved me and how lucky he was. And of course, I feel horrible about myself for being disgusting, even though if I eat much less, I'll lose weight and then get sick. I guess I just have to accept that it's over, but hope someone might have some advice. Did I do something wrong here? Or is there a way I can fix it? Two sad questions, to be honest, because the answers to both, well, the answer to the first one is obviously no, you did nothing wrong. Is there something that you can fix about your boyfriend's ridiculous personality or obsession with their girlfriend eating more food than them? Also, no. That's just terribly weird behavior. Wow. What a sad post, to be honest with you, because you sound great, OP. And I thought your boyfriend was a good guy. At least he seemed like one until a few days ago when he revealed that he doesn't like you eating food. Let's get into the update straight away and see what happened next. Firstly, thank you for those who were so supportive in validating that his reaction to my eating a hearty but normal steakhouse meal was way over the top. Again, wasn't a normal meal because you didn't have any actual steak. Your kindness made me feel a lot better about getting dumped and realizing I likely dodged a huge bullet. Also, I know some of you are going to be in the comments saying they might be veggie. It's just a joke, guys. Relax. Sorry I didn't respond to everyone. I went to bed when there were only a few dozen responses, but when I woke up the next morning, the post was already deleted. Anyway, I realized I couldn't just block my ex because he had left a bunch of stuff at my place. Wow. And there we go. Not even a mention of I broke up with him, just immediately ex. Wow. Just brutal and good. Anyway, he left several outfits worth of clothes, assorted toiletries, and electronics chargers. So I did text him the next day saying I understood, and did he want to come get his stuff, or should I bring it to him? I also asked if he was planning to return the watch, given how things went, and he didn't answer that, but said he'd stop by in a couple of hours. When he arrived, I gave him all his things, neatly packed, and I saw that he was wearing the watch. He said he was keeping it because it was a gift. I told him I thought that was pretty crummy of him, but ultimately I know he is legally in the right. I'd actually checked with a lawyer friend of mine, because it had been a gift freely given. And for something of a value of less than $1,000 that doesn't have any sentimental value, it just isn't worth fighting over. He went on to tell me he was sorry he went off on me, that he had wanted to break up for a while because he'd started seeing someone else in his grad school program. We did not have an open relationship, and thought it would be easier if I just thought he was a big jerk for negging me about my eating. And there we go. That explains a lot. And he'd actually double booked for Valentine's Day with a later dinner with her, which is the real reason he didn't eat much at our dinner and sought an excuse to get out of dessert and later activities. Holy, what the heck? That is, by the way, guys, for those of you that are still listening right now, whether it be on a podcast platform, on YouTube, wherever you're listening or watching this right now, that is why you have to stay until the last story, the last update in each and every episode that I produce. Because what have I just read there? I mean, imagine you clicked off a few minutes ago. You would never have heard that. I'm actually going to repeat that because that's so unbelievable. He started seeing someone else in his grad school program and thought it would be easier if he just negged me about my eating and thought I was a huge jerk, and then he double booked for Valentine's Day with a later dinner with her. That's the real reason he didn't eat much at our dinner and sought an excuse to get out of dessert and later activities. I mean, round of applause for this clown. Honestly, I could have been really hurt and angry, but in the moment, I just felt sorry for him for being so immature that he had to act this way. There's really nothing that turns me off and makes me lose feelings more quickly than a grown man acting completely childish. So I just told him, best of luck, and I hope he figures out his life. I don't expect we'll have future contact. Finally, to address one point from the prior comments, I know a lot of folks said I shouldn't have gotten him such an expensive gift after dating for only 7 months. I was sort of thinking that, but it's up to you. You can do whatever you want for your boyfriend, girlfriend, I think. The thing is, I've actually usually dated men who are a bit older, not inappropriately so, like 5 or 7 years older, and in higher earning professions like law or finance, so I'm more used to giving and receiving pretty expensive gifts. And I figured here, even though he was a student, I still wanted to be as generous as I could reasonably afford to be. But going forward, I'll be more careful and probably wait until dating at least a year to give gifts that cost more than a couple of $100s. Yeah, I think that is very reasonable. So all in all, a bit of an expensive and hurtful lesson, but it certainly could have been worse. Looking forward to a brief break from the dating scene and then hopefully dating more mature people. I mean, wow, what a great response from OP again. I mean, I could tell immediately from the original post that OP was like a good person, very mature, seemed pretty chilled, probably quite funny as well. You can just sort of get a gauge for someone in their writing and their general style. And that came across to me. That last few sentences is elite. Like, I don't know if it's kind of weird to not really be that impacted at all by an event like this, but maybe OP is right. Like, seeing the true side of someone, despite the fact that you're probably in love with them and you're pretty devastated in the moment, actually maybe they're the sort of person that can go, this is tough, but they're a child and very immature and it would never have worked out. I'm just going to break up with them and move on pretty quickly. I don't think many people can do that, but respect for OP for being able to do that. Actually very impressive. Anyway guys, there we go. That is going to do it for this Valentine's Day special. I know it's come out a few days after Valentine's Day, but I wanted to wait for Valentine's Day story from this year. I hope those of you that celebrate Valentine's Day, if celebrating Valentine's Day is a thing, had a nice one. If you did, let me know in the comments down below. Did it go well, or was it a bit of a horror story like these 3 stories? Very interested to hear what you guys have to say. As always, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Let me know if you want more themed videos and episodes like this going forward rather than just random ones. And I will catch you on the next one.